Here we have joining us another powerhouse in the agency framework, as well as on brand side. I would like to welcome Cal Wilson, who is the CEO of The Working Party, a Shopify Platinum and Klaviyo Elite partner, as well as tying very closely with Gorgeous for all things CX. The Working Party specialize in both platform migration, custom design, and strategic optimization. If you operate here in Australia, there is no doubt that you have heard of The Working Party before. And joining him is another legend in the econ game. We have Raf from Verge Girl. She has recently joined the team after spending 5 years at Blue Bungalow, where she helped drive significant growth, but also spearheaded the brand's adoption of all the AI tools that they now have in place. I'm super excited for this, having worked across that automation sphere within CX, but they are really going to be focusing on AI, automation, and agility. And when it comes to BFCM, making the smartest decisions you can. So Cal and Raf, over to you.
Thank you, Hugh. Hi, Raf.
Hello.
I didn't know that we were last on the bill, so let's make it count.
No pressure.
So look, I will just intro myself and The Working Party a little bit. So we are a Shopify centric agency, and we work with brands predominantly in the apparel, health and beauty, jewelry, home, and big box retail sectors to help them drive more value through their e-com and retail operations on Shopify. So look, we've been doing this for a long time, and I'd love to prefix this talk by saying that what we've seen in the Black Friday response in this market in Australia has definitely changed over the years, and I think that as brands start to think or start to put into practice their strategies for this period of time, they are thinking about this period differently. And we have so many new tools and things available to the econ practitioners these days that there's a need for a more refined strategy. We need to be smarter, not just go bigger. I'm going to leave it there and pass to Raf. Raf, I'd love for you to introduce yourself and talk about your journey.
Yes, for sure. So I'm Raf. I've just joined Verge Girl at the end of July as their e-commerce manager. I previously was with Blue Bungalow, also a women's fashion retailer, for about 5 years, and I'm lucky enough to be working with Cal for a few of those years and still working together to this day. So we've had many discussions around BFCM, AI, all of that jazz. I think, as you said, Cal, it's just really exciting how BFCM is, I guess, getting smarter every year, not only in terms of offers, but also from a customer's point of view. Like, I see it myself as a customer, how the messaging is more targeted to me. I'm presented with more relevant product. It's just not that old, 70% off site-wide. Here are all my highest discounted products. So I think it's a really exciting time, especially I think obviously brands are more sensitive to keeping their margins, all of that. So we're seeing smarter and smarter strategies every year. So excited to see what everyone will have on the table this year, and excited to discuss, I guess, how AI and how automation can help us from a retailer's point of view.
Absolutely. I would agree. I think there's been a renewed focus on business maturity, let's say, over the past few years, and the emphasis less on vanity metrics like top line revenue and the increasing focus on profitability, which is definitely going to be driving the shape of the promotions run this year. So I agree, it's going to be really interesting to see what brands do. I always find the Black Friday period to be really interesting in that brands will have all of these strategies and a plan, and then as the day approaches, a competitor will drop some kind of offer, and then suddenly all strategies out the window, and then it's just hour by hour tactics, right? So very interesting. But I think the critical change for this period is definitely the advent of AI and generally available tools that allow us to use these incredibly powerful LLMs to be able to do pretty much anything in the business, right? So I might just touch on a few of the kind of trends that I'm seeing, Raf, and then I'd love to hand over to you to get some specific applications. I know that you have always been left-hand side of the bell curve and one of the earliest adopters of new technology in the retail space. So really keen to hear what you think. But I think for as far as what we're seeing over the last 12 months, we've had a lot of businesses being very vocal about their AI policy or their AI focus for the coming quarters. Really, we're seeing this less of a top executive enforcing AI use in the business without necessarily understanding the practical applications of how that would work. I think we're going from less of a AI everything to more of a, well, how would we use these tools, these general tools to solve a specific problem? So for businesses, I'd say more and more, if you don't yet have an AI strategy that talks about these specific applications and where in the business it's going to add value, like now's the time to be doing that prior to this period, because there's a lot of ways that we can be leveraging this new tech to provide a better experience for customers over the BFCM period. And measure it, right? Measure adoption, measure time saved, measure enthusiasm. You know, we have a Slack channel where people can share wins that they've had by using AI. It's a great way to kind of celebrate these things and pick up new ideas. But I think what I'm seeing is that these things are really the world's greatest Swiss Army knife, right? It is a general tool that you can use to solve any problem. But working out how to actually operationalize that in a business requires a combination of thinking, practice, and creativity, right? So working out how you can, before you just do a thing, working out how you can think through the steps, run it through an LLM, and see if you can find some savings that way, as far as time or quality or this sort of thing. But really learning how to manage context that you give to these tools, rather than working out clever prompts, working out how to document your processes or your business plan or whatever it happens to be in a format that an LLM can understand, so it will give you the result that you need. So we're doing a lot of work with brands at the moment to sort of help them understand how they could be thinking about this thing, what type of documentation they should be collating to manage that context, what type of processes they should be building internally, and also getting them to come to terms with the fact that this is only relevant for now, and 2 weeks later things might change, but you need to be leaning into it, right? I'm sure you've seen similar things, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's so important to get everyone in the business on board. Especially like if you're in leadership, like you want your leadership team, your executive team to be using it, and really encourage, everyone in the business to think of better ways. Like how can AI help you do your day-to-day faster, and encourage them to test and trial and test. Because I think the biggest wins we've seen from AI comes from, the person who's, say, our e-commerce assistant, who's really, really doing a lot of data entry, a lot of very repetitive tasks. Like they're the ones that probably have the quickest wins. So I think, championing the use across the business is hard, but once everyone's on board, I think, it's really energizing to see what people can come up with.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'd love to hear some wins that you specifically have had with regards to real world applications of this stuff. Where have you seen tools add AI capabilities that have improved both the experience of customers but also of staff?
Yeah, for sure. I think, oh my goodness, there's obviously so many different applications. Obviously, the most basic ones, probably just building custom GPTs. I'm assuming most brands are doing this these days. It's not groundbreaking, but if you're not, now's the time to do it. You still have time to do it before Black Friday, before it gets crazy. Building custom GPTs with your brand tone of voice built in, and for specific purpose as well. Like you can have a custom GPT just for your ads, a custom GPT that will help you build EDM messaging, custom GPT for all your SEO descriptions and whatnot. That obviously you'll edit, you'll tailor, but just to speed things up, especially when you need to be agile and quick during Black Friday. I think we've seen significant time savings both at Blue Bungalow and here at Verge Girl by using those GPTs, and also sharing them with the other teams. Like, it's not like to make sure that the brand voice is aligned. I think that's something that is so important. Yeah. And then probably, obviously, this is a gorgeous sponsored event, little gorgeous plug. If you have your help center set up already and you have all that data that's there, like rolling out their AI chat assistant is actually quite easy. We were in the process of doing that at Blue Bungalow when I left. I thought it was going to be a huge lift, but it really wasn't. Like, if you have all the information there, I don't think it's too late to do it before Black Friday. Sorry, gorgeous team, if it is. I just added some work to your plate.
Totally agree. I think one of the key benefits of that process is bringing everything into one place and structuring that information in a certain way that can be accessed from customers through search, but also by an LLM, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. And I think also, I guess another big win that we've had was probably reviews. Reviews are not just for your customers. At Blue Bungalow, I think we had 100,000 customer reviews. The ladies love to leave us positive, negative, just general business feedback. But when do you actually, as a retailer, have the time to read through all of them? That's not feasible. So I feel like 2 years ago, we were probably just saying, looking at a few maybe every week, a few business reviews, a few product reviews for new product launches. But it was really easy to just be like, forget about them. They're for the customers. They're to help them make a decision once they're on the PDP. There's so much more to that. Just putting, say, you've just launched a new product 2 months ago. It's your bestseller. Okay, but what are people actually saying about it? Is there any product feedback? What's the sentiment? Is it positive? Is it negative? Are there any FAQs, especially if you have a more technical product? That's where fashion is perhaps a bit easier. But if you have a more technical product, what are the questions that people are asking in the reviews, and then leveraging that information in your ads if it's positive feedback, like the greatest pants ever to wear on a plane or on a landing page during Black Friday. Adding FAQs to your product page if you have a technical product, which obviously all of that in turn is also good for SEO and AI. So
I'll just add as well, obviously this week with the huge announcement of shopping within OpenAI, and there's a lot of work going on in the industry to work out how to optimize your business to rank really well. One of the things that has been shown is that reviews from a trusted source are absolutely an indicator to ChatGPT about what it should rank over something else. So if you have this information, now is the time to make sure that it's presented correctly so that it can be understood by an LLM, so you can get those rankings, especially as we go into this peak period. I mean, we haven't had people searching on ChatGPT, hey, give me the best bargains in Australia for women's fashion. We haven't had that yet as a channel, right? So it's going to be really interesting to watch what happens.
Yeah, also Google your brand, Verge Girl discount codes. Put that in ChatGPT, see what shows up. Make sure you don't have any rogue discount codes active. Very,
that's a good point. Audit your codes.
I've been using it as a customer for a year, and you'd be surprised. And then using Sidekick as well. Like Sidekick, if you have access to it, not everyone has a million AI tools, but Sidekick is an easy one. I think it's really great for building landing pages. I don't know if you're a big fan of Nick Sharma like I am. I subscribe to his newsletter. He's the king of landing pages. I think that would be amazing, especially if you have a more technical product, being able to really build like a custom landing page, being able to generate quick blocks using Sidekick. I think that was a game changer. And it's not to take away from custom dev work, but I think at a time like Black Friday, where you want to be agile and you want to create, one-time landing pages for a specific product, where you do highlight those that positive feedback that you see in a review, those selling points, you answer all the FAQs, and you make it about, say, your best-selling white t-shirt. Like, this is it. We have 2,000 units to clear. This is going to be my hero product. Like, build a page just for that. Don't use your regular landing page, collection page, sorry.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, we still see ads getting directed to, homepage or just a flat category page. Like, there's so much opportunity with these tools to quickly build these landing pages and make them specific to the ad, right? So you can flow through that same narrative from your advertising through to the landing page. Yeah, but I agree. I think the Sidekick, not only for the front end stuff, but also in the back end, being able to interrogate Sidekick to ask. I've seen some great examples of people looking at their search terms to create new content on the website, or people analyzing traffic or trends, this kind of stuff. It's a fantastic product, and it's just getting better all the time.
Yeah, amazing. Also to look at the products that are frequently bought together, whether you're going to offer them as a bundle or not. You don't have to offer them as a bundle, but if you're going to drive traffic to, say, again, I'm going to use the white t-shirt as my example. If they're always being bought with these shoes and this pair of jeans, like put them on the landing page. So I think, Sidekick has given merchants like this extra tool, like superpower, I guess. Just really adapt Shopify data, which is amazing. And again, like encourage your team. Sidekick, I feel like people forget it's there. There's so much to it, and they keep building onto it as well. So it's great.
Absolutely right. I mean, I really like the fact that we have access to benchmark data as well within Shopify, right? So you are able to compare your business and how you're performing against a set of anonymized competitors. Take it with a grain of salt, of course, but it does give you a sense if you're operating your business in a vacuum, you don't have the opportunity to compare notes to other business owners, knowing how you stack up. It's great to have that built into analytics and into Sidekick. Yeah,
for sure. And I guess on the back of that, it's probably more automation, not AI, but smart merchandising, just because we're talking about landing pages. Obviously, with smart merchandising platform, if you're lucky enough to have one like a search bringer tag list, you can obviously merchandise by customer tag, by UTM source, by location, which I know we just touched on in the previous session. But that's amazing. You can set rules. So if all your loyalty customers, for example, are tagged, we can make sure that they're always seeing the new arrivals first, because they're probably more frequent visitors to your website. New customers could see highly reviewed products instead. To build that trust. And then obviously look at what happened last Black Friday, where your US customers usually shopping fall, new arrivals prior to Black Friday. But during Black Friday, everything's 50% off. They're just looking for a deal, and they seem more open to buying summer dresses that in turn you might need to clear. So I think, look at what they were doing in previous years and merchandise accordingly. And I think I would also look that Black Friday period like separately, because I do think the behavior does change during the month of November. People go obviously a bit shopping crazy, a bit sale crazy, and they're probably more open to different product types, or maybe something that's not seasonally appropriate. So merchandise accordingly.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I mean, a lot of these modern search merchant recs tools have these AI capabilities built into them, where they will rank products according to what they think the propensity to sell is, according to these different personalization signals, right? We see a lot of brands overriding this and putting things in position 1, 2, 3. And I totally understand that that's really important for some periods of the year, but I think for Black Friday, I would probably say turn that stuff off and lean into the algorithm, right? Because it is making decisions based on the signals coming from your audience, and you will capture more revenue doing things that way. But just on the topic of category or collection pages, make a sizing available. So if customers are searching for a size 8, they want to be able to click on size 8 and see what is available for sale, right? There's I've heard so many times over the years, hey, I have to click into each product page to see what's available to buy in my size, and that really annoys me. I think if you are looking for one thing to do this year to remove customer friction, it could be that.
Yeah, agree. There is nothing more frustrating.
Totally. And what about A/B testing different algorithms against one another?
Yeah, I think, and that's where you were saying unpin everything, let the algorithm take over, and agree. I think probably A/B test it, especially obviously November peak period. You'll get more site traffic. A/B test 50%. See the merchandising that you set with the rule. So like my best guess would be, new customers want to see our best sellers or top products, the highest reviews, because they're going to trust me. But I might be wrong. Maybe you let the personalization algorithm do its work and see what performs best. And now's the good time to test it. Like we still have time. Like you have a whole month of October to test your different theories. So like use it. And again, most of those merchandising platforms have that built in. So I think leveraging that, and as much as brand is important for say maybe like a new drop or a new collection, for those more general collections like your clothing collection or your dresses collections where you have 600 products. If people are always seeing the same ones, especially if you're a brand that is not necessarily fast fashion, you have a more static stock, I think that's really something that could be a quick win.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it could be a good time to move into thinking about things offsite, right? Let's maybe talk about email. Like, there's so much opportunity here for, first of all, for us to optimize email, and second of all, to lean into AI. What are your thoughts, Raf?
I think you have to think about peak period before the peak period, if that makes sense. Obviously, we're all trying to grow our list before Black Friday, before peak, but it's not just an email that you're looking to collect. Ideally, you're looking to collect more first-party data. So think about how you can perhaps add custom fields if you're using Klaviyo, for example, in your Klaviyo form and your Klaviyo loyalty sign-up form, asking them for, obviously, their birthday is a classic, but more like what do you usually shop for? Like, well, how would you define your style? Is it boho? Is it chic? Is it whatnot? If you're doing a giveaway, like, trying to find out more about your customers and enrich your customer profiles with first-party data. It might not necessarily come in handy during Black Friday itself, but after Black Friday, you have to think about those customers. What are you going to do with all those thousands of customers that you're going to acquire? You need to retain them, or maybe not. That's something we can talk about, but you want to target the messaging so that it makes sense. And again, like if you have all those customer fields, this person likes a boho look, she likes going out to restaurants with her friends, blah, blah, blah. This is where you can use that information to curate your merchandising, but also your messaging through emails, through SMS, and have that all flow in together quite easily with all the integrations these days. So
exactly right. I mean, I'll just to add to that, I would say the pop-up, give us your email, we'll give you 10% off. They give you the email, you give them the code. I think it is a fair exchange of value to ask for their email address and another data point or two, right? So it doesn't have to be their name, but it can be, what are you shopping for today? I'm interested in this. Or how are you feeling today? Or I'm dialing in for your brand. But these additional data points add so much more value to that email address, because you can absolutely ingest that into Klaviyo and give them a different flow or a personalized message or whatever it happens to be. And customers willing to do that because it is that they feel it's fair.
Yeah, absolutely. And even for reviews, like we just rolled that out. We obviously had reviews set up on the Verge Girl website, but we're just asking customers to review, that's it. Well, ask them for their height, ask them for their standard size. I was like, oh, are people going to submit reviews at the same rate? Yes, like that hasn't changed at all. All of them, most of them, 90% of them will provide their height and their standard size. It's so useful for other customers to be able to then filter those reviews by someone that has a similar body type. So it's all that first party data, like every chance you get, I think, do it. Like people are willing to have that exchange of information in return for, having then a great website experience, because they know next time they're on site, they're going to be able to do that as well, thanks to, fellow customers that have shared that information. So I think it's really important, I guess, to start doing that as far as you can all year round, obviously. But if you haven't started, start now. You still have time again before Black Friday to start collecting that data.
That's right. You touched on something that was interesting as well. So obviously we have customers that have shopped with us before at a previous Black Friday and maybe never again. So how do you think we should be thinking about targeting or messaging these types of customers?
Well, I think that's something that we've wondered about, I feel like every year after Black Friday, do you have these sale-only shoppers? Are we just not presenting the right product to them? So I guess learn from your previous Black Friday. This is where customer segmenting comes in. If you're lucky enough to have a tool like Lexer or Klaviyo that will help, Sidekick can probably do the job as well these days. But look at your previous Black Friday, the customers you acquired during that time. Did they end up repurchasing? If they did, what did they purchase? Is it always sell product? Are they one-time purchases? They only buy once a year when you're on sale? And I think accept that as well. Not every single Black Friday customer needs to turn into your best, highest value customer. And just, I guess, look at the data and draw your conclusions from that and segment accordingly. Like, you can have sale shoppers, they're going to come back next Black Friday in a year when you have a sale, cool. And in the meantime, you can stop spending your ad budget on them and focus on people that, like lookalike audiences, customers that like your highest lifetime value customers. And again, with all the custom data that you would hopefully have on them, then tailor the messaging accordingly. I think that's really important in email and SMS flows. For customers that are new to a brand, say that they've discovered you during Black Friday, do try to turn them into long-time customers, and don't make everything too salesy either. I think especially after like such a big sale period, people are sick of receiving hundreds of emails for a whole month about sales. Tell them about, once they've purchased, about your brand. Who are you? What do you stand for? Tell them a little bit about your production process. If you're using sustainable fabrics, for example, or if you have a B Corp certification, tell them about that, about the brand journey. And this is where, if they haven't joined your loyalty program, entice them, depending on how you set up, you might be able to say, hey, you've purchased with us, you've already accumulated points, join our loyalty program. And turn them into fans, like into super fans. Like, I know it's about the community experience, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we spoke about one end of the spectrum with sales shoppers. I mean, let's talk about VIPs and loyalty and that kind of thing. How do you think about that as far as your automations?
Yeah, well, we obviously, we're lucky enough to have someone that does CRM full-time at VergeGirl. So our customer segmentation is pretty impressive. And I think the way we treat our loyalty program members is the perks are not only, here's a discount or here's your voucher. I think they do feel part of something. Like, for example, we have email flows that are just set up every single time we drop a new collection, which is usually every Monday, or depending on the time of the year, might be just once a month. Those highest tier loyalty customers will have early access to the whole collection, like a lookbook, a preview for the whole month. So they see what's going to drop across the month just to build hype, I guess, and they can kind of build their wish lists. While the general public that obviously just gets those weekly drops on Mondays. But we always have like an automated email, SMS, app push notification that goes out the day before our general public launch, where, hey, first to know, shop our new collection. So they get first look. No need to discount anything. They're just happy to be the first to have their hands on the new pieces. This is where, you have to be careful, I think, with discounting as well in a loyalty program. There's so much more to it, and people are just happy to be part of something. So, And then
what about specifically with Black Friday? I mean, I've been thinking a lot this year about the added benefits that we can give our best customers. Access to a sale event is one of those things, right? So rather than rewarding our sales shoppers, maybe we should be giving first dibs to our VIP customers.
Yeah, absolutely. Whether it's first dibs or giving them an extra day to shop at the end, or whether it's a gift with purchase, exclusive to only, your loyal customers. And I think, obviously this is another topic entirely, but partnerships, collaboration for Black Friday, a bit late probably to achieve it this year, but that's a great way to build your list and to, I guess, introduce a new audience to your brand. That's not necessarily a discount. Like at Blue Bungalow last year, we had 0 discount on site. All we did was a big travel giveaway with a collaboration with Six Senses Fiji. And it was our most successful Black Friday ever. Every time you spent $100, you got 1 entry into the competition. We had no discount. So,
That's really
partnerships are very underrated. I think.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And the other thing I did want to ask about is, when do you start talking about the Black Friday event to your customers? So one thing, we've spoken about before is wish lists and things, but when do you want to start encouraging customers from going from that purchase motion to go to the wish list motion?
Yeah, I think probably it's so hard because I feel like brands go earlier and earlier every year. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we see something in 2 weeks, someone going on sale already. Probably, like I would say, two weeks before Black Friday. Like don't start too early, otherwise people are just not going to buy anything the whole month of November because they think you're going to start your sale. I think you can start hinting at something's coming. Can't tell you what, but something is definitely coming. You might want to start your wish list. And I think wish lists, again, are so underrated. Encourage people to wish lists, like prior to your sale. Those price drop alerts, flows that you can have set up, again, automated. You don't have to do anything. Like the product you have on your wish list is now on sale. That's incredible at driving traffic back on site during Black Friday. And obviously we know that people that once they're back on site, they're not going to buy just the product that they had on your wish list. They'll see everything else that you have going on. Same with like low stock alerts for wish listed products. The Iconic gets me every single time. Those back in stock notifications as well. If you have a hero product where you have 3,000 people signed up to get a back in stock notification, how do we bring them back on site during those peak periods where everyone's, I guess, fighting for the attention? Can you drop that restock during Black Friday? Show them while they're on site at the same time. Yeah, there's a lot of that, I think. Wish list and back in stock notifications, not sexy, but they're very efficient.
I agree with that, totally. And now's the time just to be checking all of this stuff plugs together, talking nicely, sharing data where you can. Going into Klaviyo or whatever your tool is to make sure that your data is up to scratch, your segments are up to scratch. You've spent the time to be reviewing all of those flows and their performance and make any changes, as well as doing the work to segment out your sale shoppers and VIPs and so on, and thinking today about what's the messaging that you're going to be using for this period to those groups of customers. When will you be sending it? What is the journey? And then also for those first-time shoppers that you'll acquire in this period, what is the strategy to convert them from first purchase to second purchase, preferably at full price, but not necessarily.
Yeah, and then that's where you use your post-purchase flows, and that's what you do after Black Friday. But what are your hero products? Those that drive higher lifetime value. Again, like Klaviyo can help with that, Triple Whale, Lexo, whatever tool you have on hand. There's so many tools these days that can help you establish that. And whether you retarget them after Black Friday with those hero products, backed by UGC, as that was discussed in the previous session, how important that is. Reviews, again, then you can build out endless email flows and endless journeys based on what a customer has purchased.
That's great. Hugh, how are we going for time?
You've nailed it there. 1:20 on the dot. No, guys, thank you so much. I think, look, we've got time for one question, which I actually wanted to ask you myself from both the agency and brand perspective, particularly at the beginning when you spoke about just that internal efficiency. Obviously, AI has been heavily correlated with revenue growth, a number of other drivers, like you were saying. But with that aggregation of data, what you need to make it succeed, I'm really interested to get both the agency and brand perspective. Do you have an internal champion within the business who really has been put in charge of that? You mentioned the internal channels. We also have those here at Gorgeous. But what's been probably the biggest highlight internally for you both to really help sort of gain the motivation internally to really lean into that AI perspective?
I'm happy to kick off. I mean, I think the one thing that I've observed is there's an aha moment that everybody has gone through or will need to go through in order to have it click, where they can see this amorphous tool that does everything and work out, oh my God, I can use this to do a thing. And once they have experienced that, then they start to be creative and use their imagination about how they can apply this same thing to other problems. Getting people to that point, I would say, requires internal advocacy, because you have people, like me, where like early, and Raf's the same, I'm sure. Early adopters, we see something, we want to try it, understand where it fits in the world, connect the dots, and so on. You have other people that, they are there to do their job and they don't want distractions from new stuff, right? So you need to have an internal advocate that is able to be on the left-hand side of the bell curve, learning and understanding, documenting, doing the thinking, and then presenting that as something a little bit more refined to the people that are looking for, just a way to be more efficient or better at their job. So I'm all for internal champions. I think champion itself is a great word and a great way of describing what I think these people's role should be.
Yeah, I think you need someone that gets really excited about new developments. That's always probably been me and my team, not just me. I think the whole ecom team historically has always been really on top of, I guess, new development and AI and new tools and whatnot. But I think when you have a whole team as a champion, people get curious. How did you guys roll out this new this new feature on site so quickly? Example, silly example, but without AI, it would have taken us days. A featured review for every single product on Blue Bungalow. We just had a new feature. Picking out a review one by one would have taken us days. We used AI to just be pick out the best review for every product. Obviously, we made sure that it was a real review and didn't go crazy, but we rolled that out within a day. Or whether that be interesting other teams by showing them. I was testing Nano Banana the other day, the new Google video and image generation tool. It's so good. Are we going to roll it out on the website? Probably not, but it was really cool to see how I could just from one single ecom image, show the team, the brand team, look at this amazing video that I put together in context. Just get people excited about using AI. And I think whether that's by having such a custom GPT with such a strong brand voice where your copy is always so good and people don't realize it's AI. It's wow, Raf, you're so good at copy. It's not me. I do enjoy copy, but I think it's just real world applications. People get really excited. I think a lot of people are scared of using AI and scared of AI is going to take over my job. I think less and less, but still just encouraging people to test it out. How can it make your job better? So that really you have more time to spend on exciting things, instead of data entry, instead of finding the best review for every product on a website.
100%. I think you're spot on in terms of, better use of your own time. You start to lean in when you understand with the repetitive menial tasks. AI has been used, particularly within that LLM framework, as just a great way to expedite those tasks. We obviously see it with CX teams so much where rather than replying for the Wizmos, you can actually start to have meaningful, high-value conversations whilst AI is then able to look after the tasks that you don't need to apply your expertise to from that team. So, no, I think it's really interesting. I want to thank you both so much for joining today. Definitely a lot of nuggets to take away, but I do want to mention one from the side of the working party. I know Cal and his team will be more than happy to help any listener here with any queries that they have when it comes to planning for BFCM. And for VergeGo, I don't know whether D2CX receives any special discounts or deals. Raphael, maybe we can just go into the, if you're doing another potential giveaway for a holiday, maybe the viewers just that. Definitely keep track of what VergeGirl is doing. I know my fiance owns enough of your products as well. So thank you both.
Also for a personalized edit, all automated.
There we go, perfectly automated. Well, hey, thank you both. I hope it's a great afternoon ahead, and I really, really appreciate your time here.
Yeah, thank you, Raf, and thank you, Hugh, for having us.